All right, guys, today we're checking out the Revibikes Cheetah Pro. So we reviewed a couple of different Revibikes on the channel, especially the Cheetah series. This is their latest model that we're reviewing. It's called the Cheetah Pro. And on first glance, it does have that retro cafe racer style look. You're getting this bike because you really enjoy the retro looks. And honestly, all this time that we've been reviewing e-bikes, we really haven't seen anything similar to this design. Kudos to them for developing something that's still pretty unique in the pretty crowded e-bike market. Anyway, let's walk through all the features. First thing you'll notice are these really large 26 by 4-inch fat tires. These tires are Kenda Crusades, dual sport tread. The Kenda Crusades are actually a really cool tire. We used it on our build on the Super 73 Z1 many years ago. Ideal for the streets, but if you need to take it off-road, it can handle it. We got a front air suspension fork over here, so you can add air if you need to, adjust it depending on how you like to ride. You have a battery over here in the tank, and you have the secondary battery sitting on top of the cranks in the frame. One caveat with the Cheetah series is that the battery is housed inside of this tank, and while it looks really cool and you kind of have the brown leather texture over here, it is sort of like inside the bike and not really something that's easily removable. But it does have the secondary battery, which is removable with this case, so you just have to squeeze the latch over here, pop it up. It's just connected with an XT60 connector, and you could charge it over here. So this is removable. I think if you are storing this inside, probably no reason to remove it, to be honest. But if you want to save some weight, you definitely can take it out. And then when you start riding, you push it down. Looks like there's a lock in here as well. So combination lock if you need to keep this thing secure. We got a Velo saddle seat over here, height adjustable. And then it looks like you have some shock absorbers on the bottom. We got Tektro hydraulic disc brakes along with a 203mm rotor, I believe. Here's a look at the hydraulic disc brakes in the rear. You also have these signal lights, which I'll show you guys in a second what those look like. And then we also have a 1000 watt rated 1200 watt peak rear hub motor. Look at the Shimano 7-speed rear derailleur. So let's turn on the bike. So to turn it on, you hold down the power button. It'll ask you for a password. We did not set a password for it yet, so we'll use the NFC card. So place it there. So I really like this display, center mounted color LCD display. Very bright, very sharp. And you can also see the battery levels for both batteries. So 100% and 64%. So right now we have it set to off-road mode. This will give you the maximum top speed. And to get into that, you hold down the menu button, bring you to this menu setting. Actually, the first thing I want to show you guys is the general setting. So we'll hit general set right here. We'll check out the tour set in general settings, hit menu again to enter, and right now it's set to hybrid. This is the sensor settings, and hybrid mode means that it's torque sensing under 13 miles per hour, and then it turns into a cadence sensor after you pass 13 miles per hour. So that to me sounds really intuitive. That definitely sounds like where you would want the cadence sensor to kick in, right? Once it's like at a higher RPM. And the torque sensor on the low end will give you sort of a little more exercise, right? But what's cool is you can also choose to just set it to torque only if you want more exercise and more pedaling, or cadence if you want the motor to do most of the work. We'll keep it on hybrid for now, and then we will get out of this setting. And now we'll go to advanced and hit M. Password is 0118. And here's where you could choose the class modes, and we have it set to off-road. So you could choose off-road, sport, class 3, class 2, or class 1. So yeah, if you want to keep this thing limited, you want to kind of abide by the rules of your state, you can easily set the limitations on this. For us and where we live, off-road mode is fine. So we will choose that, hit M again, and then we'll return. All right, so plenty of settings. You could also change, the password if you wanted to. Like I said, you could also initiate new NFC cards if you wanted to. You also have 5 levels of pedal assist. So, if you did change the different modes from off-road, sport, or the different classes, also 5 different levels of pedal assist. So tons of riding modes depending on how you like to ride. If you want more speed, if you want less speed, more street legal, less street legal, that kind of thing. All right, so before we turn on the headlights, let me show you guys the signal lights. So left, so you do have the signal integrated inside the headlight itself, which is really nice. Also get that in the rear. Very bright, independent signal lights. That's what the right side looks like. And I believe if you squeeze the brakes, it should get brighter, which it does. So you get the brake functionality. And then if we hit the headlight button, extremely bright headlight. So they'll definitely be visible at night. Although it does kind of like make the signal light kind of like fade out over here. And then we have a bell and I believe this bell screws off, so you can actually install an Apple AirTag if you wanted to. Shimano 7-speed shifter, right hand half twist throttle, and then kind of this faux leather ergonomic grip. This is really what makes the Revibikes Cheetah series stand out. The brown leather, the black. Very, very classy. So now that we've gone over all the features of the Revibikes Cheetah Pro, let's take it out for its first ride.
So throttle only in 3, 2, 1. God, it is just way too cold and windy for this. We're gonna make it work. I brought all the right gear at least this time. Getting full tuck here. Make sure we're aerodynamic. Yes, boy. Mile an hour. It says 28 on the GPS. And then now we'll see the top speed with a slight decline. About 32 mile an hour just throttle. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, pedal test, uphill. 3, 2, 1. Seems to be much better with the pedaling, acceleration-wise. Like it makes a difference in how the motor kicks in, almost. Oh, my legs are already getting tired. Ah! $26? And there's a car coming up behind me. Ah! 27? Oh, I'm so out of shape. Can I get 28? Ah! Yes! Oh. Okay. Yeah, not bad.
Okay guys, first ride with the Revibikes Cheetah Pro. As you can see, it's a pretty tall bike. I have the saddle seat at its lowest setting. My inseam is about 30 inches, so this will probably be a little too big for me. Keep that in mind if you're a shorter rider. I'd probably suggest the Cheetah Mini. We'll put Sully on the bike. He's a taller rider. Get his thoughts. We have it set to off-road mode. We'll start in pedal assist level 1, no throttle, and just see how that feels. Here we go. Okay, that actually feels really good. Okay, so it's a heavier bike, especially with the dual batteries. But the mode that we have it in right now, or the sensor mode that we have it in right now, is hybrid. So anything below 13 miles per hour is torque sensing. The torque sensing at these low speeds feel really, really natural. Feels really calibrated to the weight of the bike, which is really nice. And it just feels really easy to kind of maneuver, especially for a larger bike, especially if you're riding through the bike paths with pedestrians and stuff like that. You want to be able to kind of control it at these slower speeds. And yeah, the torque sensor is really, really nice. I love that. Feels really good. You also get a little bit of exercise, you know, depending on the gear that you're in. Okay, let's bump it up to pedal assist level 2 now. A little bit more power. Feels like it could go at a higher top speed. But otherwise, it's still very, very easy to control. I like that, actually. That feels like a really good mode, especially when riding through the bike paths. Okay, power level 3 now. Still no throttle. And as you can see, it's a cafe racer style, so like the bars, as a shorter rider, the bars are kind of a little bit further away than I'm used to. But that's easily adjustable. And it just, you know, just kind of have to get used to, you know, turning this bike, right? But I really like how it performs like at these lower speeds. That's really how you could tell if a bike is well designed and, you know, proportionate to the power and the geometry and the weight. And so far, really, really nice. All right, let's go up to pedal assist level 5 now. Give it a little throttle. And yeah, way more power. I'm able to kind of stand up here. Oh yeah. Off-road mode is really, really nice. I like that. Okay, I could feel the cadence sensor kicking in. Once you pass 13 miles per hour, it makes it feel like the bike is coasting, which is, you know, ideal, especially on long stretches of road, right? Yeah, the tune on this thing is really, really good. I'm really impressed with the tune. Very cool. Okay, let's just do a quick brake test. Give it some throttle, some pedaling, torque sensing mode, past 13. Now we're in cadence sensor, 23 miles per hour, and brake. Plenty of stopping power.
So let's talk about the height here. I have the seat up probably a good 2 to 3 inches from the most, from the bottom most position. So the seat is raised up. So me getting on it, I can flat foot it, but barely. It's perfect for me for when I'm pedaling, and it's just enough for me to feel comfortable getting on and off of it without tipping over. We're in off-road mode in pedal assist 1, and we're just gonna see what that feels like. Once I can get it to drop down a few gears here. There we go. Oh, there we go. All right, so very tame, very smooth, just like all the other Revibikes that I've ridden in the past. I mean, they just make a very smooth riding and natural feeling bike. If you're trying to get a workout in, this is the mode you need to be in, because I can already feel my legs burning and I've only gone like 20 feet. So we're gonna kick it up one more. Mode 1 was topped out at about 7. Now we're going a lot faster, like a lot faster. Okay, so I hit 13 there and it was still pulling. 14. Yeah, this seems to go at least 15 miles an hour in mode 2. Way faster than this trail is gonna let me go. It's very responsive to the pedaling. It's super smooth. The brakes feel really good. Yeah, overall super good. Let's kick it up. Just put it in mode 5. Oh yeah, now it's way faster. Doing 20 mile an hour here. And you can really feel it when you start pedaling. As soon as it starts kicking in, I mean, you can really feel the power coming in now. Before it was just like a gradual acceleration. Now you can really feel it start to kick in. The handlebars being swooped back like this is weird at first, but oddly very comfortable. I don't know why, but for a cruiser, it somehow makes sense. It's semi-comfortable. The only thing I really don't love about it is the way that you have to grab the throttle and kind of twist on an angle. That's a little weird. I think maybe a thumb throttle on something like this would be better suited, but I don't really know. I don't know anything. Or maybe even just a full twist throttle would make it better. But with the half twist, you don't really have that much to hold on to, and it's kind of in a weird location. So being a hardtail, the seat absorbs a lot of the bumps, and the big fat tires obviously help quite a bit too. So let's take it for a little cornering test here. And the maneuverability on this bike is like fantastic for how big it is and what it is. I mean, it maneuvers pretty well, and it feels really smooth. How many times can I say smooth? We should have a smooth counter. That's like the only way to like really explain this bike, is it's just very smooth. It's not very, there's no abrupt power increments, stuff like that. So going over the bridge now.
So, let's recap the specs. The Cheetah Pro is a cafe racer electric bike built for riders who are looking for a vintage style. Its aluminum alloy frame gives it a classic motorcycle look. It also has a large headlight, brake light, turn signals, and a leather battery tank that ties the design together. You also get a color LCD display, NFC card access, and a Shimano 7 speed shifter. The Cheetah Pro packs a 1000-watt rear hub motor that peaks at 1200 watts. It's paired with dual 48-volt 15-amp-hour batteries for extended range. It also tops out over 30 miles per hour, has 5 pedal assist modes, smart sensing options, and a half-twist throttle. Suspension is handled by a front air fork, while Tektro hydraulic brakes and 26-inch fat tires give decent control on mixed terrain.
Riding this thing through the streets, through a city, I think it's perfect, but for our purposes, we will just test the off-road just to see how it does. And here we go. No pedaling, full power off-road mode, pedal assist level 5. Can it climb the hill? It's a really steep hill. And yes, it can. Very impressive. Okay, so even on this off-road, with no, well, we have front suspension, but no rear suspension, I am pretty comfortable. I think it's because of the fat tires, these Kenda Crusades 26-inch fat tires, and probably this Velo saddle seat with the springs on the bottom. I think it is actually doing a lot to provide some comfort, but that wasn't bad at all things considered. Let's go back on the off-road here. Yeah, if you need to take it on the grass, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, the only thing you have to worry about is obviously getting some splashback, you know, if you don't have fenders. But just riding it like this, that's pretty good. We could do another hill test over here. Again, no pedaling, just throttle only. And see, can it do it? Can it do it? And yes, it can. Wow. Tons of power. I'm liking this bike a lot. A lot. Very impressed. Woo! Although it does get bumpy. I wouldn't want to ride off-road for a significant amount of time, but you can do it. First impressions. If you've been on the channel before, you know that we've reviewed the Revibikes Cheetah series, you know, starting from the Mini all the way up to the Pro now. And yeah, it's a really unique looking design, very retro, cafe racer style, vintage style. You have the brown and black colorway, leather or faux leather, brown accents all throughout the bike. And I really haven't seen a model that kind of looks exactly like this. Not only does it look unique, but it performs just as well. So a couple things that I like. The tune is really, really good, especially, you know, at low speeds, high speeds, but really when you're testing a bike that's kind of this heavy and using just a little bit of power, lower pedal assist levels, you can really tell right away if the tune is calibrated to the power of the bike and the weight of the bike. I could easily maneuver this thing through pedestrians or in a crowded bike path, no problem, because of that tune, because of that hybrid sensor that's torque driven and then cadence once you're reaching higher RPMs. I'm actually really, really impressed. It's hard to really explain in video how it feels, but it's pretty good. You also have, you know, these different riding modes. So we set it to off-road, but you also have sport and then class 1, 2, and 3, plus the 5 pedal assist modes within each of those riding modes. So that's like a lot of different riding modes depending on how you like to ride. Whether you're a beginner or more experienced, we have it on off-road mode because we're more experienced. And then the dual battery setup, you know, the 48 volts, 15 amp power inside of the tank over here, and then also the other battery sitting on the bottom of the frame. One thing that we always talk about with this particular model is that there really is no easy way to remove the primary battery from the tank. If you're storing this in the wintertime, you want to have dedicated storage like inside of a shed or a garage or some kind of heated environment because you don't want this thing to sit out in the cold too long. If you're riding it off-road, you know, it doesn't have fenders. You could probably install something if you wanted to. So just keep that in mind. If you're going through water and stuff, it's going to splash back on you. And then one last thing, the lighting. You know, I love the integrated lighting over here, just having like these really bright independent turn signals and then the turn signals integrated into the headlight itself. Really, really cool. But otherwise, I'm really impressed with it. And yeah, I definitely look forward to what Revibikes does next. The Cheetah Pro, solid recommend.
So here's what we like. The Cheetah Pro stands out with its vintage cafe racer design that instantly catches your eye. The tall frame feels well suited for larger riders, and the hybrid torque and cadence sensor gives pedaling a natural, balanced feel. But here's some things to consider. The integrated top battery isn't easy to remove, so charging flexibility is limited. It also takes up more space than your average e-bike, which requires dedicated space. And shorter riders might find the frame size a bit too tall. So what do you think of the Cheetah Pro? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.